Now we have seen in the first part of our lesson the definition of banking and its various nuances. Now in this second portion of our lesson we will see the various aspects of the banker-customer relationship. So before going into the banker-customer relationship, we have to find out who actually is a banker, who actually is a customer. How do we identify who is a banker, who is a customer? Now we go to section 3 of the Negotiable Instrument Act, which has a very meaningful, good definition, and sometimes at the same time it's a very funny definition. It defines as the banker as a banker includes any person acting as banker. This is hardly illuminating. Who is a driver? Driver is any person who is acting as a driver. Who is the boss? A boss is a person who is acting as the boss. Who is the husband? Any person who is acting as the husband. So this kind of definitions, this is no, it may be legally valid, but it does not enlighten us as to what is a banker. Who is a banker? Then one more tool we have got, Banking Regulation Act, section 2 says a banker has to be a body of person. It gives you some little bit of enlightenment. Who is a banker? A banker cannot be an individual. No individual you can call him as a banker. Suppose I start a bank, I am the chairman of the bank. Can I be the banker? No. A banker has to be a body of persons. It has to be an incorporated entity. That is what section 2 of the Banking Regulation Act says. So it has to be a body of persons. And then section 5C of Banking Regulation Act defines what is a banking company. So having said that a banker cannot be an individual, it has to be a body corporate. It defines what's a banking company. A banking company is that which transacts the business of banking. Even though at first instance, if you read this definition, it does not throw much light. If on deeper introspection, you will find this is a very beautifully worded. Because it says the banking company, by merely saying banking company, you are saying that it cannot be an individual, it has to be a body corporate. It has to be a body of persons. It's any company that transacts the business of banking. This is a very beautiful definition because we have already defined banking under section 5B. We have already seen the beautiful definition of banking. So, combining all these things, section 3 of Negotiable Instruments Act, section 2 of BR Act, section 5C of BR Act, all these acts if we combine together, we get a mind's picture of who is a banker. A banker is a person who accepts deposit from the public for the purpose of blah blah blah, which we have seen under section 5B. Then it has to be, it cannot be an individual, it has to be a body corporate. So any person who does the business of banking in India, any body corporate which is doing the business of banking in India is a banker, which you can easily identify. You go and ask a common man without getting into all these niceties of this definition. Who is a bank? He will show, look at, this is Canara Bank, this is a bank, look at, this is Indian Bank, this is a bank, look at, this is ICICI Bank. So a banker can easily identify. It is something like defining an elephant. If you try to define an elephant, it will be a very big task. But if you ask a student, a common man, where is the elephant? He will show you an elephant. You can easily identify an elephant. Similarly, banker, instead of defining who is a banker, you will be able to easily identify a banker. Anyhow, a banker is a person. It is not a person, it is a body corporate which is doing the business of banking, and what is banking is already defined. So banker, more or less we have got some acceptable definition. Then coming to customer. Can there be a banker without a customer? So banker means automatically the other end of the story is customer. Where is customer defined in law? The fact of the matter is customer is not defined in any law. Then who is a customer? Let us look at the word custom. Custom means it is not an affair of single transaction. You must have a habit. You must form a habit of a few more transactions, a regular series of transactions between two persons. Then only one can be called as a customer. Now, the law has left the customer, the word customer, without any kind of definition. But somewhere in the Act, under Negotiable Instrument Act, there is a mention of the word customer. Section 131 of the NI Act says, a collecting banker, suppose you have a check, your uncle gives you a check, drawn on Canara Bank, Ludhiana. You are in Chennai. So you cannot go to Ludhiana to collect the check. So you go and deposit with your banker. The banker collects the check on your behalf. For a banker who collects the check, the Negotiable Instrument Act section 131 provides some protection. A banker who collects a check crossed generally or specially to himself, like that the definition is going on. One of the conditions is that the bank should have collected the check for a customer. Suppose the bank is collecting the check for a person who is not a customer, then it will not be entitled to any protection. So combining all these things, we will get an idea of what the law drives at by the word customer. The first point is, if a person has to become a customer, he must have basically an account. So only a person who has an account, he can be called a customer. Suppose some person goes to a bank to exchange notes. He goes to the bank and he exchanges 2,000 rupees to 2,000 rupees. Does he become a customer? No, he does not become a customer because he doesn't have an account. Then second point is, he must be properly introduced to the bank. You cannot open account for all and sundry. Then only a banker should take reasonable care in ensuring that he is opening the account after making proper inquiries about the customer. And the customer should be properly introduced. This is the second aspect. The third aspect is, you cannot become a customer by having a single transaction. There must be a series of transactions, then only you will become a customer. This is what is the broadly accepted custom of bankers. Because the word customer is not defined anywhere. The purpose why banks ask for introduction is that some people may defraud the bank by opening account, by posing themselves to be some other person. So a banker, it's one of the responsibilities of the banker that he should get the new customer for whom he is opening an account properly introduced. Only when he is properly introduced, he will become customer.